About 20 people have been arrested in connection with a fatal nightclub fire in North Macedonia. The country's interior minister said the suspects included local and government officials, as well as the club's manager. At least 59 people were killed and more than 150 injured when flames tore through the venue in the town of Kočani, east of the capital Skopje, at around 3 a.m. local time on Sunday. Several hundred, mostly young people, were packed into the Pulse nightclub for a hip-hop concert, and authorities say the club's license was forged.
Desperate relatives gather outside this hospital in Kočani. They're hoping for news of their loved ones, victims of a fire at a local nightclub. Most of those killed in the blaze were teenagers and young adults, leaving their parents struggling to comprehend their loss.
Let me tell you in front of everybody. Film me. I am a dead man. I lost everything. They should film me. All of Europe should know.
I don't need your money compensation. What will I do with that?
The fire appears to have started when a pyrotechnic device ignited the ceiling in an overcrowded venue. The Prime Minister said the club did not have a legal licence. The one under which it had operated had been issued in exchange for a bribe. He said those involved would be held responsible.
Here is the forgery. Here is the license. It was issued on March 13th, 2024 and signed by the former State Secretary of the Economy Ministry. I will take all ethical accountability if necessary. But first, I'm going to defeat the corrupt system.
Dozens of suspects are under investigation. While officials are promising sweeping inspections of nightclubs across the country, the small Balkan nation is grappling with an enormous loss, the worst it has seen in decades.
And we can now speak to Boris Georgievski. He's the head of DW's Macedonian service, and he's in the North Macedonian capital, Skopje, right now. Boris, welcome. We know a number of arrests have been made. What can you tell us about the state of the investigation?
Causes of the fire are clear and were visible in many videos on social media, but what is now the focus of the investigation is the fact that the nightclub was operating almost illegally and there were no protective measures for its visitors. The nightclub had only one entrance and one exit, no fire exit, no additional emergency equipment, and so on and so on. Interior Minister Pancho Toškovski said that more than 20 people are considered suspects and 15 people were detained for questioning by the police. He also said there are grounds for suspicion that there is bribery and corruption involved in the case. Some of the suspects in the case are among the deceased, but some are also still in hospital, and they are all suspected of various crimes, from corruption to negligence.
Dozens are dead, scores are injured. How are local services coping with the sheer scale of this tragedy?
Well, I'm here near the main clinical center in Skopje, and I hear the sirens of ambulances almost all the time since the early morning. This means that the injured are still being transferred from smaller hospitals for treatment here at the only comprehensive clinical center in the country. And for the Macedonian healthcare system, which has been eroded by corruption and underinvestment for years, this is a huge challenge. More than 140 patients with various injuries remain to be treated in the country. Those with the most severe injuries, mostly from burns in the fire in Kočani, are being sent to neighboring countries. Yesterday to Bulgaria, Greece, Serbia, Turkey. For today, it has been announced that additional patients will be taken in by Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, Romania, etc.
So neighborly solidarity there. We've seen vigils being held to mourn those killed. How are the people in North Macedonia dealing with the shock and trauma?
Yeah, I would say everyone is still in a state of shock, and particularly moving were the scenes from Kočani last night, where thousands of people said goodbye to the victims. You know, Kočani is a small town of about 25,000 people, and as the locals themselves say, everyone knows everyone, and everyone is someone's child. And many family members spend the night in front of hospital in Skopje. to hear the news about their loved ones. But it must also be said that the great tension is felt, especially on social media, where many people are demanding quick answers from the authorities and demanding responsibility for this great tragedy.
DW's Boris Georgievski, thank you so much.